Hello, and welcome to Collins on the Rocks podcast. I'm your host, Auntie Collins, and this week I have a very special guest, and I'm going to admit, because this is a professional, but we have,
How dare you?
we have Tom Campbell in the mix today.
I was
hi,
enjoying
Tom.
the music.
I like the music too. Okay, I have to ask. Are you a music while you sleep kind of person? Do you listen to music when you go to sleep?
I'm a podcast, an audio book while I sleep person. And I fall asleep to pretty much like a whole bunch of radio and wrestling podcasts and stuff like that. I have an app which has sleep stories on.
Oh.
And they typically are stories where nothing really happens, and they're just meant to kind of just sound nice and just lull you off to sleep. They're good like that. I tried to get my wife onto them, and this is a really true story. We're going to jump straight in. I tried to get my wife onto them because she has trouble sleeping, but I can sleep on the head of a pin, and it really annoys me. It's just like she's annoyed that I'll just go like that. So I said, try these sleep stories that I've got, and they might help. And the one that I played it to both of us. It was a trip on the Trans-Siberian Railway. And it's a lovely young man who's like, oh, welcome on board the Siberian Railway. I'm the conductor. I'll be around. And it's just a lovely story. It's not even a story. It's just like the sound of the train and the tracks clickety-clacketing. Somebody coming around with a trolley and, talking about what you can see out the window. I normally get about 2 minutes in and I'm gone. So I don't hear it. The next morning, I said to Alex, I said, how did that work for you? And she said, it was terrible. She went, I was waiting for the whole thing. And then we got there and he went, well, we're here now at the end of our journey. We're in Siberia. So well, thank you so much for traveling with us and wish you a safe onward journey. And she said, I just had an anxiety attack. I was like, I don't want to be in Siberia. Like, where's never been? It's just wide awake. I was more awake than I was before.
Oh my gosh. But you're just none the wiser. You're just in dreamland,
I'm gone. Just gone, I'm afraid.
Now,
but that's me. Hello.
Oh my gosh. I could talk about sleep habits all night long, or all day long or whatever, because are you familiar with the Sabrina Carpenter song Bed Chem?
I am not. No, I know some of Sabrina Carpenter's work. Okay.
But so the whole premise of the song is that she's like, hey, you and I probably would have good bed chemistry. And I never thought about that when I was choosing who I was falling in love with.
Oh.
Yeah. Unfortunately, my husband and I have very different bed chemistry. So
I get it because we're the same. Alex and I, I have to listen to stuff. She needs pitch black and silence, and I fall asleep dead quick. She doesn't. I run very hot on an evening, which is a nightmare in the summer. That's a nightmare lie next to just when you're ready hot, and then you've just got basically a human radiator lay next to you. Like it's a nightmare. It's this. I also snore quite badly, and it comes and goes. It goes in fits and starts. We've recently found a solution that is kind of working okay, and sleep somewhere else. No, mother's me with a pillow. No, we found a solution that works quite well. Where I've got these things that I put in my nose, enhance my nostrils, and also I get a little bit of sellotape, and I put a bit of sellotape over my mouth on an evening.
Oh, very influencer of you.
It works so much better because normally I wake up and my mouth is dry and my throat is sore because I've been snoring like a dying walrus for most of the night. But having a bit of tape over your mouth just stops your mouth from naturally opening, and it's improved our marriage tenfold.
So honestly, I actually advocate for different bedrooms because
okay.
I don't snore. Allegedly, I snore. I don't believe it. But my husband snores through the walls, so I can hear him through the walls.
Oh gosh, really?
Oh no! Hi, it's not rude.
She was flagging you off. For hours.
Yeah. Oh
I'm,
my gosh.
I'm currently talking to you from the room that I enter when my storing gets too bad. This is our guest room. Where if it gets too much, or if I do run too hot, or sometimes I'll get quite. There's sometimes where if I will sleep on a pin, but sometimes I'm quite restless, and I'll come in here because I'll be aware that I'm tossing and turning, and that's no good for someone trying to sleep. But this is a very famous pro wrestling guest room that we're looking at, Collins.
Honestly, because
It's
you've been featured on a couple people's vlogs, like
they,
Speedball Mike Bailey.
they slept
Like,
there. Mike Bailey and Vader Scott have slept there. They slept behind.
wow, this is iconic. This is iconic.
I know, right? I don't think either snored. I certainly didn't hear either of them snoring, which is a relief. But Vader's a big fan of Tesco, the supermarket, the superstore here in the UK.
Okay.
And when we finished this, she came to the UK and did North Wrestling, which is my home promotion, where we did commentary together. And I said, do you want to go to the big Tesco when we finish? And she was like, I'd love to go to the big Tesco. And they were very excited about going to the big Tesco. So that features on their blog as well, where we have a little wander around the big Tesco. I think you have like Target and stuff over there, but Tesco is it's a different beast, Collins. It's a different beast.
The United States is full of these niche little store, like Buc-ee's. You've heard of Buc-ee's? And
I've heard of Buc-ee's. Yes.
Yeah. So I don't know. I've never been to a Tesco, but I would like to think that it would be my middle class dream, because if there's a little cute thing that I can purchase, a little tchotchke item, a little Diet Coke, because I'm a Diet Coke person, a little chicken sandwich, maybe. If I can like get a little snack, a little tchotchke, and a little Diet Coke, I am set for life. I don't even care if it's like, bootleg questionable things.
It's a bootleg. It's a bootleg Diet Coke. No, they do. Basically, it's kind of like how it's almost like a massive Walgreens, but then they also do books and stationery and home furnishings.
Oh, this is like a whole thing.
Yeah, I'm basing it on you've got the several layers of Tesco. So you've got
all right, I'm seated.
You've got a Tesco Metro. So the Tesco Metro is the teeny tiny one, which is normally on a street corner or sometimes attached to a petrol station, where it just does like the basics and meal deal food and stuff like that. And then you've got like a slightly bigger Tesco, which is just called Tesco, which is like a supermarket that does mainly food, frozen, all this other stuff. But then you get Tesco Extra. And these are like communities. These are miles long and miles wide and multi-floored. And they are, I think near where I live, I think is the biggest Tesco in the country. I didn't take Vader to that one. Maybe that's for their next one. But it's like the size of a small village. So there's layers to this Tesco dream.
Okay. I'm very invested, and I want my ism part of my brain wants to go hyperfixate and research it and watch YouTube videos and listen to podcasts and everything about at Tesco.
You are very welcome. To activate the ism for you today.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you. But Tom Campbell, I invited you here to have a drink with me. What are you drinking this morning? Well, this evening for you.
It is this morning for you. It is 5 o'clock somewhere. When you said we're having a drink, the first thing I went to is this bad boy, which is Newcastle Brown Ale.
Newcastle Brown Ale. That's a really pretty.
It's a malted barley stout. It's an ale. Of course, it's an ale, dickhead. Since I live in Newcastle upon Tyne, which is the hometown of Pack, as many people, the home city of Pack, rather. It seems right that I have a little something that celebrates the heritage of where we live. So I thought it's a good excuse to have a bottle of Newcastle Brown Ale, and depending on how well this goes, I bought a second one as well.
Perfect.
It should do. Launched in 1927 by Colonel Jim Porter. After years of development as a drink, it merges Newcastle breweries with Scottish breweries and creates a delicious drink that has been enjoyed by the Geordies for many, many, many decades now.
Wow.
They very briefly did it as a draft, and I am a fan of a draft beer. Big thing I missed during the pandemic was having a draft pint, because I do believe it hits a little different when you have a draft pint over a bottle. And there was a few pubs in the northeast that did draft Newcastle Brown Ale, and it just wasn't popular enough, so they stopped. And I was like, well, I was drinking that.
It was popular with me.
Cheers, by the way.
Yes, cheers.
Jackie Dard, they say in Wales.
Yes. I have my energy drink of Celsius over here, so, and also Diet Coke from this.
I did wonder if you were going to have a tipple, because it is 9 o'clock in the morning. I wouldn't have judged.
I was thinking about it. So, to preface, I took today off from work. Okay.
You could have definitely had a drink this morning.
I could have definitely taken a drink this morning. However, so AEW is in town, which they keep saying that it's Seattle, Washington. They are not in Seattle, Washington. They are 30 miles north. And like, I live 22 miles from Seattle. So it is closer to me to go to Everett than Seattle, obviously. But they keep saying, it's like the same thing with Hoffman Estates and Chicago, and everyone's like, Hoffman Estates is not Chicago. And all these people were traveling for the all-out pay-per-view, and they're like, "Great, I don't need a car. I'll get a hotel, and it's right next to." There's nowhere to go. There's nowhere to go. You can't walk to anything. The only thing that's there is a friggin' Red Robin.
Full disclosure, right? It's funny. This is somewhat serendipitous, because I've literally did a whole bit where I've talked about, living in Newcastle.
Yeah.
I don't actually live in Newcastle. I'm looking. Okay, I can see Newcastle from out of this window here.
Okay.
I live in Gateshead, which is the next town along. But there's a lot of people that live in Gateshead that claim they live in Newcastle. They were planning to build a new Newcastle arena on a site in Gateshead. But the issue is, you could call it the Newcastle Arena, but you're not in Newcastle. And you could call it the Gateshead Arena, but that ain't as fancy. Yeah. And it isn't as big a deal. So there's a bit of a sticking point with that at the moment. But it's there's a lot of people that will tell you they're from Newcastle. Technically, they're from Gateshead.
Well, I would be none the wiser, because I think until I stumbled upon Cultaholic and you joined in the crew, I had never heard of Newcastle upon Tyne, and I lived in London when I was 21 years old.
But that's okay, because London is like several hundred miles away.
Several hundred miles. Correct.
Yeah, it's a long schleb from here to get to London. It's that common conception that like everything is next door in the UK. In comparison, it is, because I speak to the guys who do the indie circuit in America, and it's like, I drove 18 hours to go and fight for 2 minutes. I'm like, gee, no, thank you. Like, it's like, and it makes me feel bad then, because I'll get stressed if I've got I now work for a wonderful company in Wales called Slam Masters Wrestling, and they booked me for some of their big shows this year. But Cardiff is a bit of a chew on to get to from Newcastle. But then I think about guys who go 18 hours to get to the next town along. I'm like, I prefer this than that, I really do. But it's okay to not know who and what Newcastle upon Tyne is. There's 2 Newcastles in the UK anyway. So that might, and I've seen that catch somebody out, right?
Oh.
I heard from a taxi driver. In my first weeks here in Newcastle, he told me that somebody had got in his taxi and said, I need to go to this address. and they gave the postcode, and the postcode wasn't a northeast, or it wasn't a Newcastle postcode. It wasn't even a postcode in the northeast. It was a postcode for an area called Stoke. And Stoke is about 150 miles down. And she went, I've got a job interview in Newcastle. And you went, yeah, you got a job interview in Newcastle under Lyme, not Newcastle upon Tyne. So she had traveled 150 miles on the train in the wrong direction, just in time for an interview that started in 10 minutes, just to realize she was in the wrong Newcastle.
Oh, no.
So it's caught people out before when they've gone, oh, Newcastle's next door. That's fine. No. Different Newcastle, my lord. Different Newcastle.
To let you know, there is also a Newcastle in Washington State. So every time I see, I think of you. It's in between Renton and Bellevue, which Bellevue is the rich Seattle, if it could get any richer. It's where all the Microsoft and
so that's very exciting for everybody.
Yeah, and then they have this island called Mercer Island, which is even more elite.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's if you meet anyone who's like, yeah, I live on Mercer Island, it's people who want to live and have a Seattle zip code, but not live next to people who live in Seattle or homeless people.
They don't want any of that smoke. They don't want any of that smoke.
Yeah. But Newcastle is smack dab in between. It is very beautiful. It's got those nice city kind of landscapes, but also it's the trees, and it's very there's a wildlife park nearby, so it's protected wildlife area. It's a really nice area. But whenever people go, oh, what part of Seattle do you live in? I don't live in the nice part of Seattle. You don't
live near Fraser Crane, then?
No. I love Fraser. I love Fraser, I have to say.
It was over here. There was there was a big thing about early morning TV was a big deal over here for a long time. There was a show in the 90s called The Big Breakfast, and it was a ratings winner, and it went off air. It was replaced by something that was crap, and that's a shame because I like the people that made it, but it was crap. Then they started just rerunning Frasier in that time slot, and people tuned in their droves on a morning to watch Frasier. So Channel 4 in the UK now, between the hours of 7 a.m. and 9 a.m., they're just rerunning Frasier. And you know what happens when they get to the last episode of Frasier? They just restart it and do it again. I managed to catch the perfect loop about 5-6 years ago when I caught the last episode of Frasier, which was Goodbye Seattle, Goodnight Seattle. And then they take the ad break, they come back, and it's episode 1. And I'm like, I don't think my heart is ready for Niles to go through all that angst over Daphne again.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think my heart's ready to see all these relationships be rebuilt. I've got to come back in a few months.
Let's fast forward to that. But did you like Frasier because it's radio, and guess what? You've been on the radio.
That's a great question. I don't know why. I don't think it was the stuff I've loved because of the radio connection. I don't think I ever liked Frasier because it was radio. I think I just enjoyed the snarky kind of almost British comedy of it. It was like an Anglo-esque nature to the comedy in Frasier. He was a bit pompous and just a bit of an arse. And I think maybe a lot of people in the UK relate. We all know someone a bit like Frasier, and then we know someone like Martin, who is the antithesis of Frasier.
Mm-hmm.
And it just became. I'm a member of It's so funny because I'm a member of a Frasier. Can I say the SH1T on here?
Yeah, you can swear. You can have all the swears
or anything. I don't want to get you in any bother.
We're after the 20-minute mark, so it's fine.
Oh, where are we? Right, fuck.
Mhm.
I'm a member of the Facebook group Frasier shitposting. Uh,
Okay.
I must invite you to it because it's just Frasier memes.
Perfect.
And there was in Newcastle, they opened a barber's called the Hoi Polloi. And there's a famous bit where Frasier talks about knocking around with the hoi polloi. And I took a photo of it and shared it in this group. And I went, hey, lads, what do you reckon? And then the comments were, oh my God, Tom Campbell from Cultaholics in the Frasier suit. I didn't do it for that reason. I was just sharing it with strangers. I wasn't going off.
I'm just anonymous here. Yeah.
I just went, this is funny. There's a few times I'm in some random groups and I'll just post a little something that joins in a conversation. They'll go, oh my God, Tom Campbell from Cultaholics. Oh no, I wasn't showing off. I just want to make some friends.
Yeah.
With funny memes. I think I made the cover of a Nintendo DS game about Frasier and when anybody play this. And so I'm in those groups and I quite enjoy the stupidity of them. So
I love it.
But yeah, so the radio. To answer your question, I don't think it was the radio thing, but gosh, I did love the radio element of it. The episode where they're making a jingle for the show is wonderful because there is an element of people that overthink radio too that much, and ends up just being something dead simple. That wins the day. But yeah, now I think about it, actually, there's TV shows that I love. The TV shows that have radio in that I love. I also love the writing of them and the style of them. Alan Partridge is a big deal over here. Like he did a late night radio show on a radio show in the middle of the UK that nobody listened to, and it was just like those bits where you would, as a radio person, you go, I actually relate to that, and that makes me cringe and die. And I like Alan Partridge himself was such a cringeworthy character that you found yourself falling in love with because you went, yeah, I feel seen by this.
So there are people in the chat over here. So if you are watching, hi, hello.
Hello.
This question has come in. Hi, Auntie. Can you ask Tom Campbell who his favorite father-in-law is? XX. I'm assuming that's Kiss Kiss.
My favorite father-in-law.
Do you only have one?
I mean, as far as I know, I've only. I know who that is. Okay. So it's coming from Homefirth Pet Centre, right? Okay, which is the pet store that my father-in-law and my mother-in-law run. So big shout to John and Bev who have us on today. A very good afternoon to you. My favorite father-in-law is John Hammond. So when we talk about radio, when we talk about radio, when I met I'm not just being on my best behavior now. I was going to tell these stories anyway. But when me and my now wife started dating, and that point comes, Auntie Collins, where we meet the parents. And it's a little bit intimidating. And but then obviously because I'm a radio geek, I already know who her dad is. Because her dad is John Hammond, who is the morning show presenter on Radio Air in Yorkshire and the morning show presenter on BBC Radio Leeds. So I knew him. So that helped. And there was a bit where we got him on air to do something to wind up Alex. And it was the first time we'd ever spoke. And similar to like how we've talked about like being like on it with radio, he went, how long do you need this bit to be? 60 seconds, 90 seconds? I was like, oh, that's brilliant. This is great. 90 seconds would be perfect, John. Thank you. And the next Ed Sheeran song away. Brilliant. So then when we got to meet, my first night at their home, I remember drinking Snowball cocktails with John, talking about radio jingles, and I went, this is fine. This is absolutely fine. This is going to be a-okay. And we've had a bunch of great laughs since then. We've had a bunch of great adventures since then as well. Like, everybody go, everyone. And also I'll give some love to Lady Bev in the event that Lady Bev is listening today as well. Lady Bev is listening. I only recently found out that she was a big wrestling fan when she was younger, which was exciting because they were coming to visit us for a weekend, and I said, "Oh, I'm really sorry to be a pain, but I've got to disappear for Saturday night because I'm working North Wrestling. I'm ring announcing."
Yeah.
And that was Bevan. Oh, I used to like the wrestling. I was like, do you want to come along tonight? And they came along to North. And you're familiar with Puff, aren't you?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Puff was on that show. Puff was on a UK tour, so Puff was on the show.
That's a big fella. Hey, that guy's big. That's a big fella.
So he's just a big fella. He did the body slam challenge at North Wrestling in Newcastle, and I went. My mother-in-law's in the audience. Would you be up for having a bit of fun tonight? So then Puff comes out for the body slam challenge, and he went, "I hear that Lady Beverly thinks she can body slam me," which is my mother-in-law. To which then she disappears into her seat as the whole of the North faithful chant, "Lady Bev, Lady Bev." She didn't have to body slam him, but they had a chat after the show and they got on like a house on fire. So it's always, whenever I chat to Puff, we always reminisce on that. And how's Lady Bev? And like, she is very well. But yeah, I'm very lucky. I'm very lucky to have in-laws that I could just generally drop in and just say hello to. Like John and I have been to gigs before, and Lady Bev and I have gossiped until the end of the world. And I've even worked. I've worked in the pet shop as well. If I go over for a couple of days, I'll go. If you dig through the Cultaholic archives, there is maybe 4 or 5 YouTube videos which I did from the pet shop, from Home First Pet Center. Because I went, if I come in, can I just nip upstairs and record a news video dead quick?
Oh, the deep cuts days. You're gonna see some comments on those videos. So
I hope so. Go find them. They're great fun.
See, because I met my my family-in-law, so my mother-in-law and my father-in-law, and my husband is Mexican. So not only do I have to deal with, I'm meeting people, are they gonna like me? Now it's a completely different culture.
Oh gosh.
And so everyone, like, they're also speaking another language. And I studied Spanish, but I didn't want anyone to know or ask me to speak Spanish.
So did you learn Spanish for that moment?
So I do the Duolingo or whatever, the app.
Yeah.
So I was practicing. And
the owl that kicks off at you if you don't do
it. Don't forget about me.
I've got several apps in my phone that already tell me off for not logging in enough. I don't need an owl going, "Why haven't you learned how to say where's the airport in French today?"
But yeah, because it also in, their culture, they live just outside of Chicago, but in Joliet, Illinois, which is also where Juice Robinson is from.
Yes, that's where I've heard Juliet, Illinois before.
But there's a Martinez auto body shop. There's a Martinez general store. Everyone lives within like a small mile radius of each other. So they just walk to each other's houses, or they're just at their house at 8 a.m., just sitting at their kitchen table, doing whatever. So we walk in, and I'm a little bit taller than Epi.
Mm-hmm.
And I just hear, he chose a tall white girl with crazy hair.
As if you can't hear them.
Well, they're speaking in Spanish. And so they're just like, hi. Yeah. So that's what they just kept referring to me as, was like tall white girl.
What's tall white girl in Spanish?
Gringa.
Gringa.
Yeah. So
I thought it was multiple words. Is it just like?
Oh yes, alta, which is tall, alta, alto. So alta gringa.
Alta
but
gringa.
The way that they said it together was like, a little bit nicer, a little bit, I guess. But I looked over at his sister and I was like, "Are they talking about me?" And she goes, "Yep. Get used to it." And I was like, "Okay." Okay, I guess.
Oh.
Yeah, they all usually date, you know, relatively like, oh, this person's, you know, long lost whatever, or, you know, oh, go to Mexico, you'll find a girl. And Epi decided, no, let's find the tall, awkward white
Oh,
girl that
well,
likes
that's
wrestling.
lovely. Well, you just it's one of them things where you never know who is going to be the one. I think we talked about that a little earlier. You never know who's going to be
Hmm.
the one. I would
Yeah.
never have predicted that I would have met my future wife up here. I came up here for work. Would never have
Hmm.
predicted that I'd meet, the woman that put all those little weird pieces of the puzzle in my head together. And what a wonderful extra gift that is to have that, and,
Yeah.
and hopefully she'll say vice versa.
I think so. I think so.
Who'd have thought
Um,
I'd meet a weird man child I have to put up with most days? Like, she could say that too, which is more than reasonable.
in that case, I'm the weird man child because I'm over here. I mean, you can't see, but there's all these figures and stuff, and I like to collect little littles, you know.
Oh,
Um,
so I can see in the background a
yes.
monster thing with big teeth.
Oh yes. So that is a giant squishmallow that I won at the Washington State Fair.
That is the most Seattle thing you could say.
And to be fair, so this thing right here.
How did you win it?
So you know the throwing with the darts with the balloons.
Yeah.
So it's like a little attraction or whatever. So they put up like a dartboard with a bunch of balloons that are filled with either water or whatever mysterious liquid, and you're supposed to take these darts. I don't know what carnies do. I just know it's a shady business over here.
But you'll gladly take Squishmallow off them, right?
But they said, like, if you do like an X amount of green ones, you can win this prize, or if you get all of them, you get this prize. And when you put a goal in front of me, I go, I'm gonna do that. So that's what I did, and I spent a lot of money.
Happening.
Mm-hmm. I was very determined, but also the Squishmallows provide because this bed is from IKEA. So this is the dog's bed. The dog's bed from IKEA.
I've just seen the dog almost camouflage.
Yeah. There's another one right here. So, but yeah, we're talking about you guys. Yeah.
You off.
But we have like baseboard heaters in this apartment. So there's heaters that provide like a small space, so you can never put your furniture right up against the wall.
Oh, okay. Because of the heaters.
Because the heaters, and I never turn on the heaters because I am never too warm or too cold. I'm not a cold person. I don't run cold.
Yeah, I prefer the cold.
I love cold. I love it.
Yeah, it's like I think because I run hot. Mm-hmm. If Alex, when Alex and I are together and we go away, like the hotel experience is very different to when I'm on my own.
Yeah.
Because if I'm on my own, like I'm getting in there and I'm immediately turning that aircon down to like -5. I want it to be an igloo. I need because then you feel the benefit of getting it warm, and then when it's too much, you go, oh my God, that's amazing. But also when we go away together, the vibe's different. And so therefore, if we're going away somewhere different, I've got a gig coming up in July, and I've said, come with me. Let's go and have a nice spa weekend. Let's make a weekend of it, and I'll go and do the show. You can come with if you want, or you can stay and have a massage or whatever, do whatever. But we make a big thing of it. If it's just me on my own, honestly, you could just chuck me in a bin, put a blanket on me.
Yeah.
Sleep on a bench. But my favorite one I did was it was last August, and very late in the day, I had a conversation with my best friend, Jeff Jarrett. My very best. Jeff Jarrett, and he
Mhm.
agreed that of all the people that he knows, I'm one of them. And he reached out if I wanted to host My World Live in the UK, and we pulled something together, and I was very excited. So therefore I went, I'm traveling down there. I'm literally doing the gig. A few hours after the gig finishes, I'm getting a coach back to Newcastle because I've got other work to do back in Newcastle. So I've got to get back straight. Like this is like I went, Jeff. I'll be honest. This is
Turn and burn. Yeah.
this is a nightmare for me because I've got a lot on. But if it's you, so I'll do it. So I went, I need somewhere to stay in London that isn't going to cost the earth. And I ended up finding the capsules, the sleep capsules. There's some sleep capsules in London, similar to what they do in Japan, where like it's literally it's like you're in a coffin. Like you pay 20 you pay £20 and you get like a coffin for the night. And you go in and there's a mattress in there and you pull the shutter behind you. And it is just like there's no room to stand up. You literally roll in, you pull the shutter down, you lie in it, you get in your sheets and you go to sleep. They've got plug sockets for your phones and they've got like a little fan above you. That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
But it's £20 in the heart of London and I'm on my own. So I ain't stressed. That's fine. Let's do it. I think I rang Alex and I did my own first MTV. Oh, hello. They agreed that it was a decent price. Now they went, that's a good price for a coffin. You're right.
Yeah, they agree.
I rang my wife and I did my own version, my own episode of MTV Cribs for her. And she was like, are you okay in there? I went, yeah, it's fine. I'm coming out in 5 hours. So this is fine.
It was fine.
It's fine.
Were you a youth that turned on MTV?
Adult. Oh, sorry.
Just watched MTV. It didn't matter what the show was. You just had the channel on.
I don't remember watching lots of MTV over here. Like the satellite TV thing was a bit different.
Okay.
We had Sky over here. We had I was from a very privileged family. We had Sky Television, satellite television. MTV was on there, but I don't remember watching lots of MTV. I remember there was a music channel over here that was, and there'd be a certain generation of people in the UK that listen to this that'll know it, and it was called The Box, and it was called Smash Hits You Control. And it was back-to-back wall-to-wall music videos, and you could text in, you call them, and then you type in a 3-digit number. Calls are probably like 85 quid a minute, and you type in the 3-digit number for the song that you'd want to hear, because every so often they flash on the screen like, here is the song video, is the music video, and the 3-digit code you need if you want to play it. And then you type that code in, you'd see your code going up on the screen in real time, and they play it anytime in the next 4 days. And you felt like you were controlling the television, even though you probably weren't. So I definitely remember watching The Box and Kerrang and Scuzz over here. That basically you had Kerrang, and then when Kerrang got a bit too poppy, they released Scuzz, which was by the same sort of TV.
These
company.
names are hilarious.
They're great, aren't they? They're great. Q music channel as well, based on Q magazine. That's it. I remember watching a lot of music programming over here because I was a radio person, as you were, Auntie Collins. So, like, for me, listen to my music love came from listening to the radio, from putting the radio. But my mum and dad had this. They did. My mum and dad had this portable television. I distinctly have this core memory. My mum and dad had this portable television that took 5 AA batteries to run, and the television lasted up to 9 minutes. The radio would last for ages, so you could put the radio on, and there was like a little FM. So, like, I would put this under my bed, under my pillow, and even at that age, I had like headphones on, and I would listen to BRMB, which was a big radio station in the city of Birmingham in the UK, and it was a big deal. So I would listen to BRMB and the presenters through the night and the music through the night. So that was how I got my love for music, but also my love for radio because I just went, I don't know how to do it. But even when I was like 9, 10 years old, I went, I don't know how to do it, but I want to do that. I want to be the man that plays the songs and chats between the songs. And it was kind of, that was what formed my love for radio, was doing stuff like that. And from there I managed to find work with a community radio station based in the UK. And I was just infatuated with doing it. It was never one that I did, because a few people go like, I want to start a podcast, I want to start a YouTube channel, I want to start this because I want to be famous. It was never that for me. It was more just, I really liked the people that played the songs, and I liked the idea of doing that. And that was what the draw was for me. Any fame that came from it was a happy byproduct.
Yeah.
Certainly not the reason I got into it, and not the reason I fell in love with it. So I'd love to go back and chat to that version of me and tell him, mate, you have no idea how far this is going to go. This is just ridiculous. Because even though I feel like in terms of radio stuff, I feel like I've peaked already.
What?
And I feel like I've peaked, and that's okay. And I'm okay with that, because I've done stuff that I never dreamed I'd do. I got to work for one of the biggest commercial radio stations in the country. And now I get to work on the BBC on an ad hoc basis when they're really desperate for people. I'm living beyond that now. So I'm every day I went in and did radio, I never took a day of it for granted, because I know, and I know it's similar over there with radio. And then the way I describe it to a lot of people who want to get into radio and get on in radio, I always go, it's a brilliant job, it's a fantastic job. You get to do, you live out your passion every single day. But here's the caveat. Every 5 or 6 years, a massive tidal wave comes in and sweeps everything away. And if you're lucky enough to be holding on to a bit of driftwood, then you're fine for another 5 years.
Yeah, that's kind of true. That's kind of how I popped in and out of the local radio scene.
I started. You're starting it, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I started. So, they had something in the US called Radio Disney. So it was Disney children radio station, and I was homeschooled. So I would quickly finish all of my work so that I could listen to the code word of the day, and I would call in because it's during the middle of the day and I can do that. And every opportunity that I could get onto the radio, I was so excited. And I would write out a script of like what I would say, because they tell you, okay, say your name, what your age is, and the code word of the day, and like, whatever. And so I would like make sure that I wrote it down so that I didn't forget, and I would call in, and then when I would get on the radio, I would read my little script, and then whatever, I would win things, or I would be featured, or I'd be put in another little.
So how often would you get on the radio then?
A lot.
Really? On Radio
A
Disney?
lot.
You have to excuse the cameras. Just I was trying to be dead subtle about it. So what's happening?
This is the most subtle.
Charging. So I was
okay.
I was trying to be dead subtle and just swap out.
Oh no. Oh. Showing more of the magic of the bedroom. Oh, now you are muted. Oh no.
There we go. I do apologize.
Okay.
Ever so unprofessional.
That is so
you were saying.
Yes. So
because I'm just surprised you got on as often as you did.
Okay, but here's the thing: kids are in school for a certain amount of time, right? Mm-hmm. I was homeschooled, so I am from home, and I had that number memorized. So it was, it's 10 a.m. Give me the phone. We're all racing towards the phone because they were still attached to the wall at this point. And I'm punching in the numbers, and then you would get a busy signal, and then I would, slam it down again, call again, call again, call again. So it's that adrenaline rush that happens. And then when I would get on the radio, I would put on, I'd put on the charm, you know?
I say this with love. Did they ever get sick of hearing you?
No, I don't think that I would hope that they wouldn't get sick of me, but they would ask, like, haven't you won something before? Haven't you called in before?
They rumbled you.
But I did share a story, and it kind of followed me for a little while because they would bring it up. They'd be like, "Oh, you're the slug girl."
The slug girl.
Correct. So
I need to hear the story of the slug.
So when I was a baby, like a toddler, I was obsessed with bananas, and they have something here in the Pacific Northwest called the banana slug. So it looks like a banana and a slug. So it's a banana slug. Okay. So, as a baby, I picked up a banana slug and I bit the banana slug, and I ended up having to go to the emergency room because I burned my mouth because of all the, you know, whatever the slug slime or whatever. And so I always would share this story because I loved bananas until the day that I burned my mouth.
I think the dogs heard the banana slug story.
The dogs are going bananas here too.
Ah, I see what you did there.
Hey, Epi, can you grab the puppies? I don't know what they're asking from me.
Can you do that later?
Yeah.
Do you mind? Do that on your own time.
Well, like, I joked the other day that Archer was.
You guys do what you do in your own time.
I joked the other day that Archer was barking so much like he needed a podcast.
Go get some snacks, guys.
Go get some snacks. Go. Go.
Sorry, I was very aware that you just shouted to your husband, "Come and grab the puppies." And he'd be like, "You don't have to ask me twice."
It's not that kind of show.
I'm being rude.
Wait a minute. I lived in Astoria for a few years and I remember the banana slugs. Okay.
Banana slugs.
The banana slugs. Okay, Archer, you turned on the TV and started playing wrestling. God. So I shared the banana slug story, and they would hear Collins because who's named Collins? And they would always be like, "Oh, it's the banana slug girl."
It's a very distinctive name, so therefore you did infamy with it.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me how that transitioned.
Okay, so I became the friend that made all the mixtapes for my friends to like hear all the cool music and stuff, and I would always do little intros. So then that led me to our high school. Our high school had an AV club or whatever, and we would do the morning announcements. And nobody was bulls enough to be like, yeah, I don't want to be on camera. No, I don't want to be on camera. And because I have this unnerving desire for everyone to notice me and love me and adore me, I said, give me that blazer. I'm going on in 5. Oh. And so I learned how to read a teleprompter. I learned green screen stuff, like all hands-on approach. And I'm in high school. Like, this is like the most I've ever been excited about school. And I'm just reading morning announcements like, and today the pizza is $5. Get it while it's hot, just morning things. Get your school dance tickets now, in the cafeteria before the prices go up, like things like that. And so when I went to college, they didn't have like a, journalism program, but they did have a very failing radio station that they needed someone to be the producer of, and they needed talent. They were looking for talent. So I said, okay, this is where I shine. So I started producing the radio station and learning like hands-on experience with all these it was WNYK,
Collins is there we go.
Yeah. 88.7 live from Partington Hall at Nyack College. And I learned and failed so many times just trying to figure out how do we do this? I was burning CDs so that people could have physical copies of our radio station, because this is also, the late 2000s, early 2010s, where people aren't listening to the radio. They're listening to streaming. So how do I get our radio station also streaming on our website, and learning hands-on how to do it. But I had a show called Guilty Pleasures with Collins, and I would play all guilty pleasure songs. And I was told, like when I was graduating, from someone who I'd never spoken to before, that they go, your show would come on at 10 p.m. on Tuesdays. And I would purposely get in my car with a whole bunch of people, and we would drive to the next town over so that we could listen to your guilty pleasures.
Isn't that not the best feeling when you do radio, when someone goes, actually, I went out of my way to listen to the show?
I went out of my way. And so that's when like the bug hit me. So I started making my own YouTube videos, which all of those videos are private and you cannot find them.
Oh, where's the fun in that?
They're so embarrassing, and I still have my New York accent, so I'm saying Zog and coffee and all these things, and my voice is a little bit like that. I don't know where this radio voice came from. So I just started playing music for all of my friends that I thought was niche and cool, and it's mostly Mumford and Sons and Bon Iver.
Well, they were cool.
Yeah, they were cool,
Mumford
but they are mainstream. Cool. They're already on the radio, but I'm like, guys, you've never heard this song before. And I also, as a caveat, this is also where the delusion enters in. So I would enter in some of these guilty pleasure sessions with my own covers of songs and see if anybody like noticed or like called in and said, hey, is that you?
So you would throw to a song by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I went to a friend's house many years ago, and whilst we were having dinner, they played an album of house, and they didn't acknowledge it. They just put it on, and I went, okay, that's it's very good. It's very good.
I went on a date with a guy who thought that he was going to be like the next Maroon 5.
All of them?
Yeah, all of them. He was like, this is going to be our band.
Dan, Alan, and Paul.
Yes. So we were sitting in his car while eating pizza, and he goes, do you want to listen to a band like Maroon 5? So I'm thinking, oh, okay, we're going to listen to Maroon 5. Cool. And he puts on his band, and it is nothing like Maroon 5. And I go, oh, this is interesting. And he goes, do you like it? And I said, I haven't listened to it enough, so I don't want my opinion to be swayed.
That is a fabulously diplomatic answer. Fabulously diplomatic answer.
Yes.
Others would have just gone, that's crap.
I was in his car. Like, he could have been like...
So did you know it was him?
I just knew it was bad. So I figured perhaps. Because who goes out of their way to be like, hey, let's listen to this really bad band that is out of tune and just sounds like whiny.
Oh no, I couldn't do it. Couldn't be me. Oh my God. I'd have to preface it and go like, because like my wife is a big Radiohead as well. Like she works as a radio producer. So she's a journalist. So we met at Heart when I was doing the drive time show.
Oh, okay.
And she was the newsreader. So she was reading the news. So we would have banter stuff on air and stuff. And we both moved to the area. And having not really known anybody, so we were just sort of like two wayward souls. And we go for dinner and stuff, and go for drinks on an evening because neither of us knew anybody else, and we hit it off from there. And the rest is history. But she's one of the few people that I genuinely would trust to go, I've done this. can you have a listen? Knowing that, and she would do the same with me. She'd go, I've made this package today for the show. Can you have a listen? And we both do it because we know that we love each other, but we wouldn't bullshit each other when it comes to radio. Like we would have strong discussions on why I'm right and you're wrong, or why you're right and I'm wrong, because we care. Because as much as we care about each other, we care about radio. So she knows that with me, I'm never going to just say something to placate her and be nice. I'm always going to go, look, here's what I really think. But also, more so the other way than that way, in that I would always ask her advice because she's got such a fabulous radio mind. I'm always grateful when I do a link or do something to get her thoughts on it and her feedback and her vibe on it, because she understands it. But I wouldn't if she wasn't in that field. I wouldn't go,
right.
You reckon to this break that I did? Isn't that great? I'm like, oh no.
But like, I knew the only reason why he was letting me listen to it is because I'm on the radio. Like, I'm doing a radio show, and he's hoping and praying that I would play his music.
You'll play his songs, yeah.
That didn't last long. I actually ended up calling a friend to call me, or I texted a friend to call me and have like a emergency.
I get that.
But yeah, radio brought me to YouTube, which brought me to people inviting me on their podcasts because I don't know when to shut up. So
do you still listen to the radio?
I do.
So, okay, who do you love on the radio at the moment? Because there's a few people stateside that I adore. So I'm intrigued to hear your perspective as well.
So Seattle has changed really in the last 5 years with their radio station. And I will admit, I really love listening to pop like the 100s, you know? So for a very long time, 106.1 in Seattle had a very cult following. Oh my gosh, his name is escaping me. But he was on the radio for like 20 years. And he would do all the call-a-thons and all the different like charity things. And then Clear, who owns like a whole bunch of they're very right-wing, so anything controversial they don't like. And they just fired him during the pandemic. And so there was another guy from another station that came over, and they have the Jubal show, which I like because he does like, I think that they're fake, but they do like little segments of like my dirty little secret. So people call in with like a dirty secret or like a first date follow-up. So someone's been ghosted and they're trying to figure out, okay, I went on this date and this guy's not calling me back. So they call the guy that stood him up, or the girl or whatever. And then they find out the real reason why they're not calling them back. And then they confront them on the show, which I think that this is all staged. But I do enjoy 106.1, which you can hear it on iHeartRadio. It's called The Hits. It's no longer called Kiss 106. But
so who's on there that you enjoy?
On Kiss 106, well, it used to be called Kiss 106, and then it got bought out by Clear Channel.
Right, okay.
But that's usually what I listen to in the morning, and then when I'm driving home from work, I listen to an audiobook. Okay,
but I think the audiobooks are still like a hangover from radio, and I think that it's still part of like podcast is still like a flavor of radio as well. I still think that works as part of the journey as well. I really do.
I definitely see that portion because I like being talked to while driving, because it can get very lonely, especially when your commute is about an hour and a half one way. and being taken to a different world, especially like when you're trying to sleep or when you're driving home from work, it takes you out of like this menial task of what would be driving in traffic. People are honking, people, tensions can rise, people cut you off, or you get stuck at a red light for too long, or what have you. But I really do enjoy going through what I call my smut. So if I ever get into a car accident and my sexy books are playing a very sexy scene, I might be rightfully embarrassed, because I'm pretty sure that if you get into a car accident and your car is totaled, the radio is still playing. But I don't want to test that theory here.
Okay. I want to shout out a few people that I love from the States. So first is Maria Palmer. I don't know whether you're familiar with Maria Palmer, who does
I am not.
Chicago. So she's got a big following through Rock 95.5. She does the morning show. She does the morning mosh pit on there. But she does these fabulous posts on Instagram and TikTok. I've
seen. Yes. Okay.
Of sorting it. She has a great way of actually of addressing the audience. They do a thing every October where they do the purge, where you're allowed to say like the awful things that you think about when you see Maria Palmer. You're allowed to say them for just the month of October, and then you never say them again. It's a whole thing called the purge. But the way that she presents, she has a wonderful timbre, a wonderful tone. She's very much like a new generation of radio presenter, which I really love to see. The other one I love is Broadway Bill Lee on WCBS FM. Broadway Bill has been driving. He was driving New York home for many, many years. He's on the evening show now. Broadway Bill is an absolute master of the whole game, and he would do these breaks that would rhyme and flow, and they were always up to the vocal. He was magnificent, was Broadway Bill Lee, and I fell in love with him as a presenter many years ago. I discovered him through probably through YouTube Shorts, maybe, or something, or Instagram, maybe. But I love him, and I'd written a blog about him on a blog that no longer exists. I wrote a blog about him, and he followed me back. He was like, "Hey man, thanks for the kind words," and so we stayed in touch. And then about a decade ago, Alex and I went to New York, and I put on Twitter that I was going to New York, and Bill said, "Well, I hope you're going to come and see me." I was like,
"Oh, okay."
So he invited me to WCBS, so we got a tour of WCBS.
That's
I got to hang out with Bill, and he went, "Oh, you can't leave until you've done a break on my show." That's mad. So I did that, and then we went to New York again in November, for our 1 year wedding anniversary, and we hooked up with Bill again. And to my left here, I wasn't expecting to talk about it. There is a lovely photo of myself and my wife having dinner with Broadway Bill Lee.
That is so cool.
Around and framed, and I was like, "What a lovely day that was!" And we had to do the sneakers. Bill was like, "I'm buying dinner." We had this thing. It was like oh, hello, you lovelies.
When did they come in? When did these dogs come in?
Snuck on in.
Hey. Out. There's an epic.
So we got to hang out with Bill, and that was class. And I absolutely love Broadway Bill. And he still does a bit on there. I think he's kind of winding down ahead of a well-deserved retirement. But I'm so happy that in this era where it is more about like social content and all that stuff, that there is still people making great radio, and radio still lives on in ways and shapes and forms. I'm really excited that that's still the case, because radio isn't the same as it used to be. You and I all know that radio isn't as the same. What happened? I missed that.
What is happening? They're being circus dogs breaking into the office. Sorry.
They're breaking in.
Yeah. So I also want to shout out, by the way, I also listen to KEXP, and there's not specific one person on here, but KEXP is a nonprofit radio station here. And they do a lot of like call-a-thons or telethons or whatever to raise money. They do a lot of things in the arts here. They also partner with the opera here and the ballet.
Okay.
So I do want to shout them out for just the fact that they have strategically put themselves to be a non-commercial radio station, which I do love going to commercial. I do love reading ads and doing all the things, but they have dedicated themselves to going, no, we're not going to be bought out, because all of what I would say is like alternative music radio stations have really turned into like pop or not like underground things. They're not, focusing on local music, because there is a lot of local music in the Seattle area still, but they've all been bought out by Clear Channel, or they all been bought out by CBS or whatever news organization, and put in their own kind of agenda. There's a radio station here that I used to like to listen to, and then they got bought out by Fox. So the Fox network, and they became a very right-wing media, red pill bros, and less about music and less about the arts. And now it's not what I grew up listening to. I grew up listening to country radio, because that's what I was allowed to listen to, and Christian radio, and 94.1 KMPS does not exist anymore, but I grew up listening to, his name was Ichabod Crane.
Ichabod, that is a hell of a radio name.
It's crazy. And he and I are friends on Facebook. I don't know how in the early days of Facebook, I just was like, add friend. And he goes, okay, add back. And I've just followed this guy like post radio career, and he just lives on a farm. He's living his best little simple life. But he used to go to all the rodeos and do like auctioneering. Like, he had a mustache that looked like a broom that like completely covered his upper lip. Ichabod Crane, and he had a morning crew with them, and they had so much fun. I wonder what he's doing these days, but
look him up. Are you familiar as like look him up? But are you also familiar with JoJo Kincaid?
Yes. Oh my God.
That particular. Okay. Are you able to, like, if I send you a link, can we watch?
Yeah,
it?
if you send me a link, yeah.
Where can I put, if I put chat in, so just behind the curtain, there's a thing that says chat with everyone in the studio, and that is just me. I've shared the link of.
Do you want me to share it with the class?
I think if we can share it, so everybody who is joining us and watching us can enjoy it with us.
I would love to do that.
It's JoJo Kincaid. He does this absolute masterclass on a Friday. He doesn't look like he sounds. Ready for that? But here's JoJo Kincaid with a couple of breaks on Friday morning.
Yeah, dealer participation.
All right.
Yeah, dealer participation may affect final price. Yeah. This is it. The beginning of your party music marathon with money in music. Friday, my attitude is showing. JoJo cooking here on Q. 1, 6. Write the song down. Word up. This will get you $106 if you count to win on the
This was incredible. I love this so much.
Keep him going, because this is the bit that
San Diego Zoo Q. You don't have to tell me what day it is. It's Friday. Friday. Party time. Weekend beginning. Now it's 5 o'clock if you're ready to do it. Quitting time. KKLQ AM and FM San Diego. If you're ready, let's
What a boy!
I absolutely love this.
Isn't he amazing? Isn't he amazing?
Can I just say, I risen with the tism over here, right? You know, there has to be a little bit of that going on with every
100%.
radio content creator. Because what do you mean? What do you mean? It's quitting time. Let's go.
Think about it. 5 o'clock on a Friday in the 80s, you know, when money was everywhere and asbestos was cool. Like, you're on the way home and that is on the radio. I am psyched for the weekend. That is the energy that you want for a Friday. And Jojo Kincaid was bringing it. He did an interview many years later, because he was still doing a lot of radio until fairly recently. He said something, because he was asked at the end of the interview, he was asked to give some advice to young people who wanted to get into radio, and it stays with me, where he said, my advice to people who want to get into radio is, don't do it unless you burn an ache to present yourself and be heard in that way, in this way, because you need all of that energy to survive. And I think that's so true, in that you can't, when it comes to radio and passion for radio, you can't half-heart it. And you can't half-wit it. You've got to be full arse to it, as opposed to half-arse. You've got a full arse. And Jojo full arse. Yeah, and that's it. So any time I get the pleasure of jumping on the radio still, which I'm blessed to do, I'm grateful to do it, because like it was the first love of mine. Wrestling was always there. Radio was always like the love of mine. And to this day, it still walks beside me. Like, there's so many great radio heroes of mine. And so any chance I get to do stuff on air and be on air, like, I still love to be heard in that way. There's a big part of me that hopes that if the world was to move in a certain way, that I might get one big go around one more time, like one more full-time show on a regional station, on a national network. I'd love that. I'm aware that, you know what, stranger things have happened, but I would love that one more time. But if I don't, I did breakfast radio for 5 years. I did drive time radio for 7 years. I've worked for every major radio group in the UK. I can't be sad at what I've had, and I can't be greedy, because everybody else needs a go. So it'd be greedy of me to assume that I deserve another go at a full-time gig. But if I don't get it, I'll go, what a time I've had. How lucky I was to be in that period, in that time, and do that. And even on like a bad day in a job like that is a great day in somebody else's job. So I'll never take that for granted. I
love it. Do you have time to play a little drinking game with me?
Absolutely. I will warn you, I've got through 2 bottles of Newcastle Brown Ale, but I've got enough there to do a drinking game. Okay,
sounds good. So this game is called We're Not Really Strangers. So this will either bring us closer together or further apart. Who's to say?
Okay.
There's 3 levels. The first level is called perception. So it's kind of what you perceive. The second level is connection. And the third is called reflection. Okay. All right. So I am pulling and I am choosing them randomly. Okay. There's no sorting. You see?
I think she's choosing what she likes.
Yeah, I don't know how to shuffle cards, so I will never be a card shark.
You can be a card dolphin.
Is it like one of those Zara Larson dolphins that that's Lisa Frank?
Yes, one of those.
Okay, perfect. All right. The first question of perception, what do your shoes say about you?
What do my shoes say about me? That I should spend more money on shoes.
How many shoes do you have?
I have 3 pairs of shoes currently. I have my posh shoes for ring announcing. I have my trainers for running, and I have my casual shoes, which aren't as comfy as my running shoes. So I tend to default to my running shoes when I go to work. So there, I know I need to spend more money on decent shoes, but there's two things in life that I for whatever reason choose not to spend over a large amount of money on, and those are shoes and headphones. Headphones, because I lose a lot of headphones.
Same.
And I feel like if I were to dunk 150 quid into a pair of AirPods and I lose them, I'd be really sad. But like if I buy some headphones from the big Tesco for £15, if I lose them, then I'm okay with that. That's not too big a loss. With shoes, and it's mad because I've done two half marathons over the last couple of years. Every September I do a half marathon. I slipped on the medal earlier just in case it came.
Oh, okay.
One of my 2 medals for the great.
I just thought you were excited, you know.
I just excited for my medal.
It come from your coronation.
It was more a case of the 30-second countdown went on, and I went, I need to put something funny on. So when I was wearing something that you didn't see before, but because I've tidied up the room, there was nothing nearby except my Great North Run medal. I'll just put that on. So I've had so last year was my last year running in my old trainers because they'd just been worn to death. So I bought new trainers, which I tend to be wearing a lot more of now. So what the shoes say about me is that maybe I need to spend more money on shoes because they get wrecked very quickly. They get worn down very quickly. And then instead of buying with shoes, not so much with headphones, with shoes, instead of buying one £150 decent set of shoes, I tend to have to buy 4 pretty crap £30 pairs of shoes.
Listen, before me, my husband had 2 pairs of shoes.
Oh.
Both of them had duct tape on them.
That's yeah, I relate.
And I don't want to say queen of shoes. I'm just I love a good find or like a bargain. So if I know a specific brand is on sale, I don't care that it's in neon yellow because that's the reason why it's on sale, right?
Yeah, totally.
So I have a lot of those kinds of shoes.
Okay. That says a lot about you. That's what your shoes say about you. Is that you like a bargain?
I like a bargain. I like being like, oh, you like these expensive Doc Martens? Well, guess what? Not the usual $160. Nope, these were $55. That's it.
If we're talking about shoes, in the event that my dad ever hears this, I must tell the story of one time about 15 years ago. I went home for the weekend and I had a hole in my shoe. And my dad's the same shoe size. So I went into the garage, and there was a pair of his shoes that were very dusty and cobweb. I thought, he hasn't worn them in ages. I'm just going to wear them. We'll pop them on to go to the pub with my dad. And we were there for about an hour and he went, are you wearing my shoe? And it became a running gag that every time I come home, he hides his shoes to stop me from seeing them.
That's perfect.
Yeah, I am. I've been cool. I just thought, and my argument was always, they were covered in cobwebs, Dad. You're not wearing them.
You're not wearing them.
They're my shoes. Fair point, well made.
Oh my gosh. I'm not allowed to borrow my sister's shoes, if that makes you feel any better, because I usually steal her shoes.
Ah, like that, is it?
But I can be clumsy sometimes, and I scuff shoes or I get them a little, worn. I wear them, and then I'll return them, and she will know immediately that I wore her shoes.
She recognizes that you had her shoes.
Yep. That will be like the sock color will like bleed a little bit into the sole of the shoe, and she'll be like, I can't wear these ever again. It's like, nobody sees that part. Nobody sees it.
This for me.
You ruined it. All right.
I like that. Okay. So that's the shoe conversation.
Okay. That's the shoe conversation. All right. And next question for the perception round is, if someone were to come upon you, what would be the most, wait, that is not how I read that. Okay. Never mind. I I haven't even been drinking and I can't. Oh, it's because I'm not wearing my glasses. That's what happens when you get north of 30.
I'm
Okay, what about you is most strange or unfamiliar?
What about me is most strange or unfamiliar? Oh,
Hmm. What would people see that would be strange or unfamiliar about you?
um,
That you like to wear your running medals?
I mean that's weird. I mean, what's strange or unfamiliar? I mean, I'm very much like if we meet for the first time, I try and establish a connection immediately.
Mhm.
To the point where it's like I think there's been a few times where I've met somebody at a party and then a few minutes later been introduced to them and I go, oh, we go back years. We were in that war that time. And so or I'll go, oh, I'm not talking to him. He's a nightmare. Nah, get him. I would like to think that in an era where people are somewhat cautious and somewhat guarded, I'm good at putting people at their ease. When I meet them for the first time, I'd like to think that's I think in terms of like what I wear and how I act, I'm quite lively. But I think that'd probably be what it is. I think maybe as soon as we meet, like we're friends, and it can be misconstrued for naivety or stupidity, and I respect that. It can be misconstrued for that, but if you're an arse to me, then I'm not going to bother with you. Like normally, there's like a 30-second window in there where you go, I've got a gauge on you within this initial conversation, and there's people who I've met over the years, and I've still lived in that initial conversation we've had and gone, I think that's the ship sailed. But there's people who I've met on a night out and for the first time, or been out with friends, and then we've met and we've immediately struck up a friendship, and we've seen each other after the fact, and I think I'm quite affable. I think I am. My wife might be watching or listening to this and going, he's certainly not. I like to think that's what I try and do.
Yeah,
I
would agree. I would agree.
Always try and put people at their ease. Like if they're new, with North Reston, we get new people who come to see us all the time at our show in Newcastle. And when it's something new, and if it's something new to the locker room, I'll always make a point to come over and make them feel welcome and have a bit of a joke with them and go, hey, look, you're part of us now. Welcome to it. And I'm proud of that. And that's a bit of my dad, that is. My dad's very much like that, in that he puts people at their ease immediately if you're in his company. And that's the energy that my dad has brought that I'm sort of carrying on. I think it's that. I can't think of anything other. I bet you wrote something more fun, like, oh, I dress as a duck on a Wednesday. Just
I mean, that's something I feel like I could co-sign that about you, because during the pandemic you had your I don't know, little show that you had where people could call in.
Yeah.
Love You by Friday. And that's also where I would be like, I gotta call in. I gotta participate, because I love a participation. But you certainly have people coming to you with ease of, hey, you're familiar enough that I could call this number or I could interact with this, and I don't know, have some life put into you.
I'm so blessed in what I do, but I also remember many years ago, there was an interaction that I had with a YouTuber that I followed, and I was left feeling so awkward about the way I'd approach them that it really hit me. And I went, I never want to ever make anyone feel like that in my company.
Yeah.
I never want to make them feel the way that person just made me feel, ever, even if I'm in a rush, never. And that has kind of guided me a little bit. So I'm very grateful to them because that's guided me a little bit. So whenever like I meet new people, like people at North will come over and say they watch the channel, they watch the show, and I'll always try and make time. And if I ever if I'm ever rushed, please don't take it personally. It's normally because I've been told I have to be at a certain place at that moment. But I do chat to you, and I love you dearly, and I'm really grateful that you're there. But yeah, so I think it's a bit of that. Yeah, I try to have that. I try to put that out. And if people think that that's the vibe that I give, then mission accomplished as far as I'm concerned.
I love it. My therapist one time told me that I mistake niceness for friendship. I just assume everybody who has any sort of interaction with me either wants to be nice to achieve a friendship. And I never realized that people would see me, on Fightful or doing ring announcing or doing this in the wrestling scene that they would, or being on a radio station, that they would choose to take advantage of that. And I don't want to ever believe that people have bad intentions about things.
So you think like people would go, oh, I'm going to be nice to you because you've got these connections.
Correct. Yeah.
No, I hear that. I hear that because there's sometimes you can tell with people in terms of what they are reaching for and what they're actually after from you. And that's okay. Because I've had a whole conversation with this about this whole subject with a wonderful guy based in the Northeast, a fantastic wrestler by the name of Henry Faust. I'll give him a shout because he's really good and he's done tours of Japan, he's done tours of Germany. I think it's going to be a big deal and I really like him. But we had a whole conversation about this, about how sometimes people will come to you with secret agendas. And I think that can put you off speaking to people ever. Whereas there's been times where I've been really honest about it. A few months ago, there's a fantastic radio presenter who used to do the breakfast show on BBC Radio Newcastle by the name of Alfie Joey. He a wonderful guy, like a really like warm, friendly character. And we'd seen each other a bit, but we never made enough time to see each other. And I kind of messaged him out the blue and I went, look, I'm really trying to get my head around LinkedIn and sort of freelance inside and hosting and things. And you seem to be a real force on it. Do you mind if we go to coffee and I pick your brains on it? And there's no hidden agenda there. I've just gone, this is why I'd like to meet. And Alfie was like, hey, I'd love to. It would be great to catch up. And we did. And we had a lovely afternoon. And he went, I really enjoyed this. And I was grateful for having the time to do it because we'd been honest and I gone, look, this is what I need some help with. And there's times where I've rang people and gone, can I just pick your brain on this? And never be afraid to do that. And there's people who, if you're listening or watching this on the watch again and you want to get into ring announcing, commentating or whatever, please don't be afraid just to drop us a message and go, can I pick your brain? Don't pretend you're coming in for another reason. You don't need to butter my arse or anything like that. You could just go, can I pick your brains on this? And I'm always open to it. I will never offer advice and guidance uninvited. I would always wait for someone to go, can you give me some feedback? And there's lots of people that I watch who do ring announcing, who do commentary, all due respect, that I'll watch them and I'll go, I'm just waiting for you to ask me for feedback. Please ask me because I really want to help you. And this thing is annoying me. I'm begging you, ask me for feedback because I'll give you feedback and you'll do it and you'll be 10 times better. But I won't do it uninvited, unwarranted. I'll do it when you ask me. So don't be afraid to ask.
Yeah, I like to have that same little mantra. So, all right, we have our second level over here. I have picked 2 cards out. Okay, this is your connection round. Are you ready? What would your younger self not believe about your life today?
Everything. Absolutely everything. I want to go back and tell my younger self, like, you love wrestling, you love radio. Like, here's the thing. You're going to have an amazing career in radio, and both wrestling and radio are going to pay your bills. And you're going to go and you're going to interact with some of the great and the good of both industries. And you're going to have people who you admire greatly tell you we were talking about you in the pub the other night, and you're gonna lose your mind, and you won't believe it, but it's true. I would love, like, there's the young version of me who would record radio shows on his karaoke machine at home and record these demo tapes. I would love to go back and go, it seems like it's impossible, because my mum and dad aren't in the industry. They're not in any of the weird worlds that I've wandered into, but my days have they been supportive. But they were also very honest. They went, look, it's a really tiny industry that you're entering. Have a backup plan, have a plan B. And they were right to say that. I didn't listen, but they were right to say it. I should have listened to them. They were gosh darn right to say it. But they were nothing but supportive, and they really backed me. And I would love to still go back and go, look, you. But then also it's that whole thing of, if you go back in time and tell your younger self, like, this is what's going to happen, does it change the destiny? Do you then kind of rest on your laurels a little bit? Because I think a lot of what has got me here has been the hunger to be more and to do more. You know, would I have taken on a Sunday morning breakfast show in the next city along when I lived in Shrewsbury in Shropshire? Would I have taken on a breakfast show that meant I'd have to leave my house at 10:30 p.m. the night before, get the last train out of town to get into the city of Wolverhampton at 2 a.m, get myself into the studio, sleep on the sofa for 4 hours, and then do the show without the boss knowing I was doing that? Would I have still done that knowing that everything worked out okay? Would I have still, would I have done all that? Would I have gone those weird extra miles for stuff?
Yeah.
Maybe I wouldn't have. I don't know. Maybe I would have done, because it's part of me that enjoys the thrill of the journey, that joy of adventure in these things has never died away. I did a gig at the other end of the country last month, and I worked out with the promoter that it was actually cheaper for me to fly home than it was to get a train up the country. So I took like 2 domestic flights to get home. But how exciting was that? Felt like I was on. What a joy. Two 45-minute flights with a layover in Belfast in Ireland, where I had a pint of Guinness I had a pint of Guinness in Belfast. I've had a great day. And so it's, would you still have that hunger? Would you still have that passion if you were told everything was going to be okay? Because I think it's the fact that you don't know everything's going to be okay is what keeps you hungry,
Yeah. I agree. All right, our next question is, what has been your earliest recollection of happiness?
My earliest recollection of happiness. Okay. Okay.
I can tell you for me while you're married.
Please do.
For me, I have always been obsessed with the Olympics. So my first memory of watching TV or watching like a global event was the 1996 Olympics.
Ooh. And
not only was that the year that Kurt Angle, my favorite and everyone else's favorite wrestler, turned professional wrestler, turned WWE wrestler, WWF wrestler, but watching him win with a broken freaking neck, you don't really know that he has a broken neck at the time, but watching it and going, I don't know why I like this. I don't know why I feel so happy watching this, but just watching my country succeed in something that they haven't done in a very long time. And then also at those same Olympics, watching the women's gymnastics team win gold with Carrie Strug, and having Carrie Strug get legit injured and watching her do that vault and just watching the happiness. Like I'm a person who, when I watch, competition shows or reality competition shows, and people sing and you can see the joy on their face, like this is what they've been meant to do their whole life, I cry. I don't know what it is about those kind of heartwarming things where someone is achieving something that they've been doing their entire life, and seeing them succeed and blossom makes me weep. just like wrestling. It always makes me cry because I'm watching something that is pulling out an emotion inside of me, and I felt so much pride and happiness that I reluctantly, I will agree, kind of silly to think, but that's when I was like, I'm going to be an Olympic champion. I'm going to be an Olympic gymnast. I'm over here closer to 6 feet than 5 feet, but I really wanted to be an Olympic gymnast. And it was like wow, there's so much pride and happiness for like my country. I want to captivate that feeling. And I felt happy about that. Being 7 years old, having these aspirations, but
I love that. I love that. For me, I remember getting Sonic the Hedgehog 2 for the Mega Drive. That was really exciting. I remember I have a distinct memory of me and my brothers and my mum and dad going on holiday to Florida when we were very, very young.
Oh my gosh.
Very young. And I say very young. I think maybe I was like 13, 14. And my older brother was like 17. Mike was like 8 or 9. And I just remember us playing in the pool and just enjoying the fact that, tomorrow we were going to Disney and being a little bit scared of all the scary rides, but otherwise excited to be around my brothers and my family and enjoying that. And also the excitement of being able to just to spend time with my mum and dad and having like I think it was a bit later on in my childhood, because I remember being excited about the prospect of watching Monday Night Raw live. Isn't that weird? I remember watching Raw live because it was on in America, because we got it on a delay on Sky Sports on a Friday. We didn't have live video versions. Okay. So the idea of watching Monday Night Raw live on a Monday was exciting. So I remember us watching Raw I think it was around the time I remember us watching Monday Night Raw after we got back from the parks, and it was the night that it was revealed that Vince McMahon was the higher power. I remember watching that in Florida and going, oh my God, this is amazing. 2 key moments happened on family holidays in Florida. One, Vince McMahon was revealed as the higher power. The other was Diana died. There's 2 key moments.
Oh my gosh.
The more important, well, I won't say. But those are key moments.
R.I.P. Princess Diana.
What? Pardon?
I said R.I.P.
Oh yeah, R.I.P. I want to run to you. She was the people's princess and all of that. Candle in the Wind, etc. I have
that Beanie Baby, by the way. The
you have Princess Diana Beanie Baby?
Yeah. You don't know this?
Is there soul in it?
So you didn't know. This is hilarious. Okay, so there's a Princess Diana Beanie Baby. It is purple. It has like a little flower emblem. In 1997, that it was like in her memory. I don't think the proceeds went to anything. It was just like in her memory to commemorate the People's Princess. And this is also during the height of the Beanie Baby, frenzy, where people thought, oh, these are going to have legitimate value, because in the year 2000, they were going to stop making Beanie Babies, which it was a lie. But they made these purple little bears with a little flower emblem to remember Princess Diana.
I did not know that. You
didn't know that? This is crazy, because this is like millennial core for me.
I know everything like Diana and how the Queen was reluctant to say anything. How the country went into mourning, like oh my days! No, that's the spirit of Diana. That is. She's back. My wife and I missed a key moment in the royal family history in 2022. we had booked a once in a life, well, what turned out to be like John Cena and The Rock, a twice in a lifetime trip, once in a lifetime trip to the Maldives. Because the world was getting back to normal, we booked this wonderful breakaway earlier in the year, and literally like 3 or 4 days before we went, the Queen died. My wife works in a newsroom, so like it's all hands to the pumps. It's like, this is the big, but Alex had this holiday booked in. So it was like the following day she went, oh man, there's a lot going on. Well, bye. Holiday, bye. So we missed the entire like mourning period in the UK, because there was a whole mourning period.
Yeah, because there was a whole thing,
where they stopped like a lot of comedy shows and everything was a bit slower. The music was a bit slower, and every news program was talking about like memories of the Queen, and you could tell like 2 weeks in they were running out of steam. They're like, oh, here's the Queen's mate who was a beekeeper. Yeah, she liked I guess she liked bees. We've talked about everything else about the Queen, but she's away. It would be remiss of me to mention that it was in that 2 weeks when we went to the Maldives that we got engaged. Because my plan was always going to be, when we booked this holiday, I went, I'm going to ask her to marry me when we go to the Maldives. And so it was in the midst of all this sadness in the UK, we booked off to this unbelievable holiday destination, this incredible place. And I said, Ken, I really like you being around. Can I contractually obligate you to stay?
Obligate you
in a nice way. I said it and everything, and it was lovely. It was fantastic. We went back there for a honeymoon. It was lovely. But royal family. What a time, eh? Hey, Andrew's a card.
So that's so interesting that you like, those are really two pivotal moments in the last 30-ish years of the royal family that you
that we were out of the country for. Working in radio, and this is the thing, you like in your career in radio, I don't know whether you had it, forgive me if I'm wrong, but every radio station I worked for, we had a royal death protocol.
Oh, interesting.
In terms of, in the event that a member of the royal family dies, and then the Queen dies while you're on air, here is what you need to do. And it was a case of, here's a playlist that's preloaded. Here are the people that you need to call. Here are the contacts you need to reach out to. It depends. If you're part of a big network, you reach out like the national bods and you deal with it that way. But every station I worked at, there was a remit and a protocol for when this happened, if this happened while you were on air. So I was braced for this all my career. And then I was sat at home when it happened, and part of me goes, man.
That is so interesting.
I knew exactly what I did. Here's another little fascinating radio bit about the UK. I don't know whether you know this. So with the BBC, there was for a long time a radio studio underground in the city of Bristol, and it was there in the event that the World War II, didn't go our way. So we could broadcast from there. And in that bunker in Bristol is a cassette tape, which has Winston Churchill on. And it's a recording of Winston Churchill saying, England has fallen. Please stand by for further details. And isn't that haunting?
That is so wild.
Re-wrecked that in the event.
In the event that it would have gone the opposite way, but
yeah, they were ready.
Interesting.
They were ready. The BBC were ready.
That's crazy. So I was working.
Sorry, I didn't mean that.
Yeah. So I was working. The only thing equivalent to it is I was working for the radio station when Whitney Houston passed away. So we were watching. I think it was the Grammys. And then they announced that Whitney Houston had passed away. And I was like, oh, great. The next day, I go up into Partington Hall. And they're like, hey, because I went to a Christian college, by the way.
Okay.
So, but she had like a whole gospel record that we played it ad nauseum for that entire week. which
So you just play that over and over again. Memories of Whitney, getting people on air, Whitney and all that stuff.
So we had to, I mean, this is also before the readily available Wikipedia, at least like in the capacity that it is now, where you could just like, oh, I could just click on our Wikipedia and go, Whitney Houston, here's a whole bunch of facts. Yeah. But we had to have like, I wrote down a series of facts and typed it out so that everyone had to say the following after we would go through it and play this album from forward to backwards. But that's the only equivalent.
Album through.
Yeah. But as the show's producer, I had to produce a pre-written segment, but it would have been probably a lot more efficient had I pre-recorded it and just press play.
Yeah. I mean, probably.
Oh my gosh. Well, here's to hoping if another royal passes away, which they evidently will, because
it's about to be a few. I'm ready to go.
That you will be stateside and you have to give us a play-by-play of what's going on.
Basically, whenever I'm in America, I would be checking on the royals.
All right. Well, with that said, let's go to our final round, which is our reflection. We're really going to reflect on like what we've been talking about, what we've been connecting here, and as we round out the episode. But your first one. Some of these are wild cards because it is a drinking game. So this is a wild card. It says swap a song suggestion the partner may enjoy. So we both have to give each other a song selection. And if not, you have to drink.
So give a song that I think you'll enjoy.
Yeah. What would be a song I would enjoy?
Maroon 5, Payphone. Whatever that dickhead was doing that time.
Oh my god.
First Payphone, I think, is there. But you know what? It's so funny because I realized by accident, I said this to my wife, I realized that Maroon 5 is my favorite band completely by accident. Because like they brought out like This Love, and I went, it's good, This Love. I like This Love. Then they brought out a couple of the songs that they were okay. And then Payphone came out. I went, I really like Payphone. And then I heard Girls Like You in a shop. I went, I like this. This is good. Damn it, Maroon 5. And there was a couple of the songs that came, like I heard Maps played on a show. What's this? Damn it, it's Maroon 5 again. Like it just happened that every song that I went, I like that. I was just, damn it, I'll look it up. Damn it, it's Maroon 5. So like, I haven't gone out of my way to go, they're my favorite band. But I just hearing songs and go, I like that. Damn, it's Maroon 5.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. I've never accidentally listened to Maroon 5, just like Imagine Dragons, just like Coldplay. They're just the same version of white guy in a band, you know?
I will offer you away from Maroon 5. I will offer you somebody who is a big piece of the music scene in Newcastle and in the northeast of England. I'll offer you to seek out Sam Fender.
Sam Fender.
People Watching, I would shout out to you. People Watching is a good song. It's lovely. I love Sam Fender. I've never had the pleasure to meet him, but I know a lot of people who do meet him and hang out with him and stuff like that. And he sings in a Geordie accent. So the Geordie accent is obviously it's Pac. So when Pac speaks, that's our Geordie.
So Pac made a music album.
Yeah, if Pac was a singer, so like it's people watch on the way back home. Like it's I really like it because in a time where everything is very clinical and very clean, you got Sam Fender singing in a Geordie accent, and I really like that. I really like that. I was in the same pub as Sam Fender a couple of years back on a very crucial day, right? I said I was in the same pub. I went the following day. There's a pub near me. Well, it's not. Is it near me? No, it's not really. Is it? I'm thinking, but it's in town. It's a pub I like, and it's called the Bridge Tavern. And it was. Do you remember the whole Johnny Depp Amber Heard debacle?
Yeah.
Right. So the day that the verdict came down on that case and Johnny Depp was cleared, he was hanging out. He was hanging out that week with Beck in the UK with Jeff Beck because Jeff Beck was on tour. So Johnny Depp was doing some bits where he was coming on stage with Beck. And that night they were playing at the Glass House in Gateshead. And they were having drinks in the Bridge Tavern when the verdict came down. And there's video footage, literally as they find out and they're on their way to the venue, of Johnny Depp walking through the courtyard of this pub. And I watched the video and I went, that's the Bridge Tavern. Over there.
That's right there.
Yeah. Why is Johnny Depp over there? And it turned out that Sam Fender was drinking with Jeff Beck and Johnny Depp in the bar bit upstairs. And I went, oh, that's fun. And so whenever I have friends who come to visit Newcastle, and we're not going somewhere to drink, I'll always take them to the Bridge Tavern. And once we sit down in the courtyard, I will then tell them the story that I have told you about how this is where Johnny Depp was when he found out that he was off the hook with the Amber Heard stuff. He was in this very establishment. I wish they put a blue plaque up or something, but they haven't so far. So should you and Epi ever come to Newcastle, I'll go. Okay. We'll go to the Bridge Tavern because there's the nice story there, and also it's a really nice pub. I've drank in there on many occasions, and I've had those nights that go on there where you go and meet a mate for a beer. And then you blink and it's 7 hours later and you've had a lovely time. So I've had some lovely nights in there, but the Bridge Tavern has a bit of history. And Sam Fender was there as well. So there's a nice connection to what we were talking about. I would say seek out Sam Fender. I
love that so much. Sam Fender. Okay. I feel like I've heard it, but I don't know.
I think you might hear it and you'll go, oh yeah, I know that Sam Fender guy.
Yeah. Interesting. That sparked like a memory of car chases, because car chases usually happen in the United States because people think that they can outrun the law. And there was one time, it was like one of the biggest ones, and they drove by my house.
Oh God.
So everybody's watching it on TV and I go, wait, that's my house. Oh my gosh. And they, yeah. Oh my gosh. I used to live in a Norwegian town called Paulsbo, Washington, spelled Poulsbo. And they have a yearly fest called Viking Fest, which they do all their Nordic traditions. They have a statue. They do carnival rides. They also do like a fun run, so like a 5K or a 10K or whatever. There is lutefisk and lefse eating contests, which is disgusting because it's just fish, like a pickled fish kind of thing. Eating contest, which sounds terrible, but it's just all a huge gag. I love it. I love a tchotchke thing, obviously. But one of the car chases actually happened during the middle of Viking Fest, but they've blocked all of these roads in the town. So they were trying to go down side streets, and that was the instance where it's like, hey, that's my house, because my house at the time, well, everyone else had beige houses. My mom painted our house mint green.
Oh, fabulous.
Mint green with a white picket fence on the outside, because she
delicious
like that. Okay, so the song that I'll give you is I wanted to be cool and be like, okay, well, the song that I'm listening to right now is I'll Believe in Anything by Wolf Parade, because it's been featured on Heated Rivalry, which that show has taken me by storm. Okay. So it's a older, it's not a current song, but it talks about being sunshine. You are my sunshine. And when I think of you, I think sunshine, because you are a breath of fresh air in a world that likes to be gray and boring.
Oh, bless you. That's very kind. Well, I will listen to that and I will treasure that, unless it's crap, and then I won't.
The beginning though is very alarming, and it is my alarm when I wake up because it's very like boop, beep 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 beep. You know, it wakes me up. So
My alarm is the Wii Sports theme. Don't know what that's.
When you set your alarm,
Day like da 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 da. I don't mind finding songs that are a bit older that I really love.
yeah.
Watch that film on Netflix with Dave Bautista and Jason Momoa. Can't remember what it's
Mhm.
called. But there's a fight scene that Jason Momoa does, and it's set in the background. It's set to Air Supply, making love out of nothing at all. Never heard that song from Air Supply. I went,
Yeah.
oh. And I have. It's now like blasting out of my Spotify. Hyper-fixated on Air Supply, making love out of nothing at all.
Oh my gosh.
We're probably hyper-fixated on Wolf Parade now.
Yeah. We'll see. Here's the thing. Wolf Parade was always like an indie band that like nobody knew. And, you know, you kind of gatekept your like little niche bands. And the thing about Heated Rivalry, with it also being about, you know, queer relationships, and it is, you know, the screenplay was written by a queer man. The book series is written by a queer woman. So a lot of the songs are like very queer coded, that like very niche things. I mean, in episode 4, they have All the Things She Said from Tattoo, which very popular song, but it bleeds into a cover that's like more of like a dance version of All the Things She Said. And it's like slowed down, and the, you know, the beats per minute are a little bit slower. So it like pairs well with the scene, and it's like breathing and you're feeling it. And I'm like, oh wow, this is really truly marrying a song that is already in my zeitgeist. It is now transformed into a different cover, but it fits this imagery so well.
Nice.
But Feist is also on there, which who ice skated this last Olympics to Sea Lion? Anyways.
Was it the Canadian?
Yeah, I think it was one of the Canadian, but
very good.
It's very like dee ba boo da boo ba bee ba ba. I don't want to get copyright, but it's a very like, you know, dee 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 dee. But I just love that there's all these queer coded songs from niche artists who might also be queer, but they might also just like really support queer people. And, you know, we're seeing a resurgence of old songs becoming new again. So
I love it. And it's everything's cyclical. So these things come all the way back around again, and I'm delighted for it, because, you know, I would hate for songs just to be lost in the annals of time because they're not new. And I love that. I love that people discover like these classic songs that come back around again. It's a really exciting, like it's a time where we've got access to absolutely everything all of the time. And that is both a good thing and a bad thing. But it's a good thing in the sense that you find these old albums and these little bits of fried gold that maybe didn't get the love first time round, and it gives them chance to have life again.
Which is beautiful. I love that. Yeah. So funny story. Last question that I just drew. If you were in a band, if we were in a band, what would our band name be?
The Foreskins.
All right, I'm sold. No notes.
I'm so happy that it's a joke years ago. As soon as you start saying band, you know, when your brain kind of rifles through the file of facts.
Yeah.
And I just went, that's it. I'm just going to leave that there. I'm going to wait for you to finish this sentence. And I'm just going to say that out.
Perfect.
I would happily call the band Collins on the Rocks, because I think that's a cool name for a band. And I would happily be your bassist. You take the front. I'll be bassist. I'll make some crap jokes during the songs, and that's the role. And I'm happy with that.
So I used to be a bartender. So that's why this show is called Collins on the Rocks, because
Ah,
I used to pretend that I had a podcast when I was bartending, because you meet very interesting people when you are working in a dive bar, let me tell you.
oh, I imagine you do.
Yeah. And so the dive bar that I worked at was in when I lived in Pittsburgh for a short period of time, and I saw that Greg Cherry was in the chat. So hats off to you, Greg. But we had to wear disgustingly revealing outfits. So seriously, it was like men and women had to wear like V-neck V I don't know, V-neck shirts that like went all the way like preposterously too low.
Oh, it was like a rule that you
Mhm.
had to wear it.
You had to do it. And he would only hire like really attractive people or people who could carry kegs up from the basement. And
So you knew
so
where you stood with him if he asked
I
you to
knew
come.
where I stood with him. So he would put me on all the day shifts, or like
Oh,
I would be the back bar, for whatever. But I like looked at him one day and I was like, "Do you realize that I am literally the heart of the bar? If you did not have me here entertaining the regulars, because there will be people who come and go, but I'm entertaining the regulars who are sitting in the back bar while you're entertaining all the yuppies at the front. But who would be bringing in all of your draft beer from the basement and setting up the keg?
yeah, exactly. You're the one doing the work.
I'm the one doing the work. I'm the one getting sprayed with beer.
You're the one
And I'm
putting the
shutting
shit.
this place down.
Oh, jeez.
So some of the best memories, although I do miss the days where if I needed to make X amount of money to make rent or to like pay a certain bill, because again, I see a goal, I set my focus on this is what my goal is. I'm going to achieve this specific goal. I would make it to the cent. I don't know how it happens, but it would happen. And then
No, I get it. You focus and you go, this is what we're doing, move out of the way. And that's what's happening.
That's what's happening. Well, the last part of this show, we give cheers, right? It is always proper to end your happy hour session, your evening session, with a cheers. And I want you to think about something that you want to cheers to, that you want to leave your final abreast to this conversation. What do you want to cheers to?
Okay, so what am I saying cheers to? It's a bit schmaltzy, but I've got nothing left to cheers to. But I will say, but I will say cheers to my wife. It's a real schmaltzy thing.
That.
She is all the bits that I'm not, and I'd like to think that for her I'm all the bits that she's not. I have such a stupid schedule that I keep and such a ludicrous life, and to have met somebody who completely gets it and understands and is so supportive and will go and do your thing. I'm very blessed in that. I never take it for granted. I'm beyond grateful to have that, and I'm glad that I am contractually obligated to have it for a long time. She puts up with a lot of nonsense from me, and I will. And all I can do is continue to praise you in every possible way I can, and be a support mechanism for whenever you need it as well, because Lord knows you've been it for me. So I will, Rose. I will on my wedding day. When I did my speech, I think the line that I ended on when I talked about my wife, and I said, I don't care if it's a beach far away or if it's on the sofa watching something awful on TV, wherever you are is where I want to be. And that's true. It's like the wrestling is. I've been so blessed that wrestling has dragged me to so many different places, and especially the last quarter, it's been like my busiest. This is becoming my busiest year. But the reason that happens, I've got someone at home who, when I don't like myself very much, likes me enough to cover it, and that is probably what gets me through. So I will. I like to think that I never go to sleep without saying I love you. But I always worry it's never enough, so I will say cheers in a public forum like this. I will say cheers.
I will cheers to that. I love that. Cheers.
Although I should have saved some drink to cheers. It feels somewhat
Hey,
sad.
you drink metaphorically, so I think it counts.
That's true. That's true. Who do you want to cheers to?
Well, if you're gonna cheers your wife, I'm gonna cheers my husband because my husband, if you're watching, hi Epi, I love you. He deals with all the good and plenty of the bad things, but he never calls out the bad for being unmanageable. I fall asleep on the couch every night. I forget deadlines. I forget to buy groceries, or I go to the grocery store and I forget the thing that I was sent to the grocery store for. I forget my phone everywhere. I sometimes get a little bit too sauced when we go out with friends, but he's always going to be my companion. And for that, I would never, ever leave him. And I always want him to feel included because he is every place that I want to be and more.
Oh, there you go. Big love to Epic. Big love. Cheers to you, sir. I had the pleasure of working with Epi on a project.
I was gonna say thank you for including him on that, because that is like
I'm grateful to him for being there.
He is a plethora of knowledge that I love to find little niche topics that I know a ton about, where he knows a lot of things about a lot of things. And he's had that firsthand experience and then takes that and goes deeper. So his knowledge on Sonic and every single Sonic game, I thought that Sonic stopped at Sonic 3 because I aged out of this.
Stopped at Sonic 3.
We don't mention it. We don't talk about it.
I wish it went Sonic 3 and then it went straight to Sonic Mania. That would have been fine.
Yeah, that would be fine. He was telling me the woes of Sonic 2016 or something. No, 2006. Yeah. And his knowledge on things that are bad is so, like, I could listen to him talk about it forever, and I get the opportunity to. But including him on the podcast and having him share the bit of knowledge and experience that he had brightened up his entire life. He loves to be included. So,
well, I was honored that he would be up for being included. So I'm very grateful.
I get really mad when people don't include him, and I have historically cut off friendships from people who have unintentionally or intentionally excluded him. And when I've called them out, they dance around it like it's a joke. It's never a joke to me. No. My husband is a very important person, and just because he is quiet, his opinions often get overlooked, and I am so loud that I will call people out. Sorry, you missed out on a really cool person who has a plethora of knowledge. He will talk about Sonic. He'll talk about Fate Grand Order. He'll talk about Final Fantasy. He does all the things. But
he's a good guy. He's a good guy.
Mm-hmm.
Big fan.
But thank you. That I have shared that that podcast series with my brother Paul, who got me into Sonic and watching Sonic, and we watched Sonic Adventures as kids.
No.
And he loves it. So just know that we're big fans of your work. We're big fans.
Big fans of yours as well. Big fans.
Well, Tom, where can we find you here on the internet sphere?
On the old internet, I sometimes still pop up on Twitter at Tom Campbell. It's a bit of a hellscape. I try to keep my head.
I'm fighting for my life in these comments.
Oh, you are, bless you. You go through the ringer. God love you. Tom Campbell on Instagram and on Blue Sky. I'm the Tom Campbell on there. I am on Cultaholic Wrestling every single day. Whilst we have been talking, a video has gone live that we recorded before you and I spoke today. It is 9 pitches for WrestleMania 42. And I believe I have offered a pitch at the very end that will I think, get me more hate mail than I have ever had. I am braced for it, and I willingly did it anyway.
Is it Pat McAfee becoming the champion? Because
if you look at the thumbnail, you'll have at least an idea of what the pitch is, and you'll see the thumbnail. You will immediately be sick in your mouth. As I was doing the pitch, my colleagues Ross Tweddle and Andrew Hodkinson were sick in their mouths. I was even a bit sick in my own mouth. I could come up with something so devious. But it went live about 20 minutes ago. It's awful. But all the other, it's a fun video. We have a good laugh. We have a good fun laughter of the video where we come up with our own pitches. But this one, I'm gonna go nuclear, and why not? Because the world is spiraling. So let's spiral with it. Oh no, it's there. It's live. That's terrifying. And the thumbnail is what I feared Joel Holland would put together. And yeah, let's go. So I'm on there every day at Cultaholic on YouTube, and we do we do daily podcasts. We do classic reviews of Raw, SmackDown, and Nitro every single week, and a bunch of other good stuff. All the wrestling news come to us, come say hi, and we have a lovely time. And for the very latest wrestling news at any time, you can check out cultaholic.com. But come find me on Twitter. I'm at Tom Campbell. Stay safe, and I love you. Bye. But thank you. But thank you for having me, Collins. It's been it's one of those things where we've known each other for a long time, but I think this is the longest we've ever spoke properly.
I know, but it doesn't seem like it's been 2 hours and 11 minutes.
It really has. Believe it or not, it feels like it's been 2 hours and 10.
Well, everyone
genuinely flown by.
Yes, time has flown by. Good luck in your predictions. I'm excited to watch. It's 53 minutes. This little predictions video. So.
It's not predictions. It's pitches. So it's
pitches. Sorry, not predictions.
It's type stuff. And what I fantasy book, I'm nervous because I willed Grado into Wembley, and I've willed a few other things into existence. So I'm nervous now. Open Pandora's box and set out something into the world that we might see this weekend.
Okay. Well, reluctantly or not, we'll watch it. Put it on the big TV.
I'm so sorry.
I love it. Make sure to like, share, subscribe if you like videos like this, if you like interviews like this, if you want Tom Campbell to come back on the channel and we can talk about actual wrestling, because we barely dipped our toe into the wrestling talk. So
you know what? It was lovely.
Yeah, it was really nice.
Nice little break.
Be sure to capture me over at Fightful Overbooked this Sunday morning. We are going to talk the post recap of what happened at WrestleMania Night 1 and talk about WrestleMania Night 2.
Who are you with?
JPJ from Love Wrestling is over there. So
it's not Kate from Fightful then, that's fine.
No, it's not Kate from Fightful. No.
Good. She's a monster. Never
you gotta put that in there. Kate, we love you. Thank you so much. All right.
She's a maniac. She dances like she's never danced before.
Never. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining.
Thank you.
Had a lovely time. I've been awesome. You've been awesome. And let's have a drink another time. Cheers.
Cheers. Love you. Bye. Cheers.